Welcome back. It's time now for our community update with Appleton Police Chief Todd Thomas.
And Chief Thomas, the department recently put out a survey to the public to hear how you can advance your services within the Appleton community. The results are in. This was sent out to over 1,500 addresses. So what are people saying?
Right. Yeah, we in law enforcement, we don't ask often enough what we should be doing. And we're community service. We serve the community, but we don't take the time to ask. So we did a survey, like you said, about 1,500 surveys went out just to city residents. This was a unique survey. It was independently done by 2 doctors from Silver Lake College, so we didn't have any part of it. Broke the city down into our 15 aldermanic districts so that we could look at the data for each neighborhood, and each neighborhood has a different concern. Top 5 issues in Appleton. First one was drugs. A lot of concern across the city on drugs and the impact of drugs on our community. I don't think there's one family that hasn't been touched by drugs. Issues 2, 3, and 4, not surprising, are traffic, OWI, reckless driving, inattentive driving. And then our 5th concern was school safety, which is a very timely topic and something that we talk about a lot. The question that I went to first when we got the results was the question on trust, because trust is really the lifeblood of law enforcement nowadays. Without that community trust, there really isn't much that we can do to accomplish our mission. I was impressed, astounded, proud of the results. It was 86% of the people surveyed either had a lot or a great deal of trust in the Appleton Police Department. I think that speaks to the history of the department and all the work that's been done by the officers that have come before us.
And it is really about that community engagement. And speaking of which, just this week you sat down with community members and really connecting and talking. Tell us about that event and what happened.
Sure. That was our 4th community conversation that's been hosted by Family First Ministries in Appleton. The school superintendent, Dr. Baseman, was on the panel along with Pastor Dupree, Judge Desjardins, and then our diversity and inclusion coordinator for the city of Appleton, Karen Nelson. I really love doing these. It's energizing, it's engaging. A lot of the same things we saw in the community survey we heard in this forum. The community wants us out engaging with them, getting out of our squad cars, being community police officers. You know, we've got a mission and we've got a philosophy at Appleton that it's not a specialty to be a community police officer. It's not just the duty of a few officers. Every officer, every employee is expected to be a community police officer. And that's just part of your general duties. That's something you should do every day. Try to find an opportunity to do that. Engage with somebody from the community that you haven't met before and let them get to know you one-on-one.
Great way to get the conversation going, that's for sure. You had mentioned school safety earlier. This is something we've been talking about all year. And recently there was an agreement signed with the Department of School Resource Officers and new crossing guards. So tell us about that.
Yeah, this is exciting. We've been working on this for about a year now. The sustainability of the school resource officer and the crossing guard program has always been a challenge for both the school district and the police department. We're always looking to do more with less, and there's always different things we're getting pulled away on. So we wanted to have an agreement that solidified, sustained both those programs because they're both critical programs. So we reached an agreement with the Appleton Area School District. We're going to maintain our 12 SROs, school resource officers, in the schools for the next 5 years. You know, we staff our schools heavier with school resource officers than any other city in the state. I think we've talked about that. And we both see the value of that. Part of that is a crossing guard program, extremely important program. A lot of times that's the first face the children see on the way to school and the last one before they go home. We wanted to sustain that program. We've been managing that program for a long time. We're not specialists in that. They're actually our specialists in crossing guard services. So we've contracted out. We're just approved last night at City Council. We're going to contract the management of that service out to a specialist, the largest crossing guard company in the country. And they'll manage that, tweak it, make improvements on it. We'll still be involved with it. But that'll free up some of our officers to do more of the law enforcement type work and less of the management of crossing guard work.
The big moves happening to keep our kids safe, continuing that big presence in our community. Thank you, Chief, so much for stopping by.
Appreciate it.
We'll be right back.